Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Sports Break. It is Friday, so you know what that means. We have a special guest on show with us today. I'm Renee Washington, joined by La'Keisha Sutton. Keisha, as I know her, is from Trenton, New Jersey. She's a graduate of the University of South Carolina, the defending women's NCAA basketball champions, and she also plays professional basketball still, and is the founder of Fan Favorite. So a lot of amazing things that you have going on. Let's take it back a little bit. You went to Trenton Catholic Academy. You were part of the dynasty of TCA.
Yes.
And you guys won state championships. You were the Gatorade Player of the Year, All Area Player of the Year.
Yes.
And continued to play basketball in college at a top college program in University of South Carolina.
Yes.
So what was it like growing up with all of that basketball around you, constantly going to AAU tournaments, constantly going to high-level high school games, and then at the college level, playing at the SEC level?
It was amazing. Excuse me. It was amazing, really, because I was just playing basketball as a kid. It was just fun for me. And I tell a lot of people I have a natural gift for basketball. And to be able to leave my environment and meet new people and build new relationships, new friendships, and just see different things, it helped nurture me. It helped me become the person I am today.
Yes. Now, what people may not know, and you guys definitely don't know this, is Keisha grew up playing with my two older sisters in basketball. And I was 2-3 years younger than them. I talked about my basketball career, but I was nowhere near as good as Keisha, and she was one of the ones that was, like, intimidated. You were one of the ones that were, like, intimidated.
No, but your sisters were better. Your sisters were better.
But still, you guys were the older ones, and I was just watching. I mean, I was a freshman when I think you were a junior, they were seniors, and seeing you guys play at such a high level was, like, even for me as 2-3 years younger, was like an inspiration.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I never got to that level in basketball. I did in soccer, but for you, being able to continue playing at the University of South Carolina with Dawn Staley,
yes.
What was that like? I mean, I know we probably grew up watching her play. I definitely did.
It's an honor. To this day, I don't think I'll ever really realize how much of a privilege it was for her to come to Trenton Catholic and choose me to give a scholarship. A lot of my friends are paying back student loans, and I went to college for free just based off my basketball and, more importantly, my education. And when I was at South Carolina, I would notice how fans would come up to her and ask for pictures and hugs. Mm-hmm. And in the moment, I was so focused on my academics and performing on the court, I didn't realize that she was like this superstar until after I graduated. In every interview, every new place I go to, the first question I get asked is, how was it like playing for Dawn Staley? So I'm like, wow, she was really the best, or like a fan favorite, you know. So I'm honored. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, and you were one of her very first recruits in her first recruiting class.
Yes, I was her first recruit actually. 2008, I was signed to go to Long Island University, and my coach left, and I was a free agent. And Dawn came in to watch another teammate play. And she walked out like, I want La'Keisha Sutton. So I tell people, you never know who's watching you play for the first time.
Yeah, that's a great message. I mean, you really don't know. Even when you thought you may have been going to LIU, someone was still watching for better opportunities. So always being on the A game.
I was set LIU, and then my backup was Princeton. Princeton should have been my first.
Not a bad backup.
Yeah, it should have been my first, but at 16, I was so young, and I didn't have any guidance as to like which college or anything. So I was a little intimidated by going to Princeton, so I just chose the easy route, which was LIU.
Right. Now, this past year, the women's and men's basketball teams for University of South Carolina, if anybody was not paying attention, went very far. The men reached the Final Four for the first time ever, and the women, hats off to them. After 4 years of UConn winning in a row, the women's basketball team won their first ever NCAA title.
Can you say that again?
The women's basketball team won their first ever NCAA title. Now, for you as an alum, what was that like, being able to watch them on TV and seeing them celebrate, seeing them at the ESPYs as the nominee for the best team and going through that whole process of success?
Again, I just feel very grateful. Grateful to be able to be a part of history. Grateful because I know how much work they put in on and off the court to be in that position. And I told you before, it was bittersweet for me because I'm excited, I'm happy, but I'm also very sad. I was sad because I'm like, I wanted to be a part of the national championship team, but I do believe everything is in time, and I'm happy that their time finally came.
Yeah. I mean, that is the hard thing. As an alumni, you want to see your team do well after you're done. but then you're also, it's hard that you're not a part of that. And you want to be on the court, you want to be lifted up that trophy, you want to be standing there when the confetti's falling down. So
yeah, it was very, very, very. I'm speechless because I think to the world, everybody else was surprised, but I always knew that we were going to win a championship. I just didn't know when.
Yes, yes, and it wasn't long after you left. Wasn't too long.
Yeah.
But you still play to this day. And you played in 6 countries.
6 countries.
And now you're heading to Turkey in August.
Yes.
And what kind of was your decision in going overseas versus staying and playing in the WNBA?
Well, in college I studied broadcast communications, so I had an opportunity to go intern for ESPN and get into the broadcast world, but
awesome.
Basketball was just calling me, and I was excited about signing a professional contract and finally getting paid. So I signed to go to Finland, and then from one season, people watched my film, and like each country just kept calling. So I want to keep playing as long as I can, and then do what you do when I'm finished.
Yes. Well, that's great that you continue to play. I mean, what's it like playing overseas? A lot of people don't really understand that experience.
I always tell people, if you watch the movie Love and Basketball, it's the exact same. No exaggeration, anything. You're in a foreign country. Mm-hmm. You have to learn the language, new food, new culture.
Yeah.
It's what you make it. A lot of Americans, they kind of stick to what they know, which is their room, right. Skype, Facebook, Snapchat. Me, I like to get out and try new restaurants, meet new people, and just sightsee, because who gets to travel for free? I mean,
true.
Most people don't, so I take advantage of that.
Yeah, so basketball, and this is something that's huge that people don't really understand as much, is, or some people do, the fact that basketball has gotten you to such a far point. Like
so many places.
Like without basketball, your life wouldn't be anything like it is right now.
No, it wouldn't. I would probably be still reading Harry Potter books. Seriously.
Classics. That being said, on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to continue talking about just how far basketball has taken Keisha to grow her very own business. So don't go too far. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back to the Sports Break with Renee Washington and our special guest, La'Keisha Sutton. We were just talking about how Keisha, as we know her, played college basketball at the University of South Carolina, has played overseas for a number of years, but if you see on her shirt, Fan Favorite. Keisha is the founder of her very own business called Fan Favorite. And for those that may not know, what does it stand for? I mean, I actually didn't even realize that every letter has a different meaning.
Yeah, it's actually an acronym for values that has helped me find success on and off the court in my everyday life. So Fan Favorite was my nickname in college, and I kept doing interviews, TV, magazines, radio, and I wanted to make it more than just a nickname or about myself. So I figured it's a mindset. It's, you know, the first F stands for faith. You know, obviously off the court I had to have a ton of it to even be in this position I am today. Right. To even step out and start a brand. Like, I didn't know anything about business, entrepreneurship, anything. So faith, attitude, no distractions, fruition. Just sitting here with you, I'm like, okay, I need to do an interview about a lot of things, and to sit here is another thing coming to fruition. Yes. A is awareness. Like you mentioned, I was aware at an early age that I had a very special gift, and I was different from my friends, so I stayed focused and I stayed persistent and consistent. Next V is vision. I had that vision that we would win the championship. It just sucks that I wasn't there.
You were just a couple years off.
I was born ahead of my time. Right. O, opportunity. You know, having the opportunity to go to college for free and be able to start a brand that helps people. It helps wake them up in the morning and keep them going. R is responsibility. I feel responsible for helping other generations learn how to use their gift, whether it's basketball or not, to be successful. I is integrity. T, take risk. E, effort. So that's Fan Favorite. But wow. Yeah, it's really more than t-shirts and shorts.
Yes, I see. Now, I have to ask, how long did it take you to figure out exactly, you know, the acronym for Fan Favorite? That's a lot of letters and a lot of values that are great values, but I don't think I would have been able to think of all those.
Honestly, it literally took me about 5 minutes.
Really?
Yes, I had an interview with the mayor about 3 years ago, and I was like, I gotta do a pitch, I gotta present it. Right. And I'm talking to my friend, and I'm just telling my story, my journey from way before I even picked up a basketball. And he was like, you keep saying these same words over and over. That's it. So, fan favorite.
Yeah, so the values that you lived day in and day out, that does make it easy to really embody that into a brand.
Yeah.
And you have camps, you do, you have tours, right? If you follow her on social media, she is everywhere.
Yeah.
But you're all over really trying to reach out to boys and girls to get them to understand what it takes to make the most of their opportunities in sports and in life.
Yeah. I definitely think that for me doing a tour, it's just an opportunity to tap into new communities.
Okay.
And really just to encourage somebody. Like, you can do it, not because I did it, but because you really can do it, but you have to have a certain mindset, and that's why I say it's a lifestyle brand.
Right. Now you play still, as we talked about before the break, and you also have your own brand. What does it take for you to be able to juggle the two? I mean, you have a team that you work with Fan Favorite, but how is that, I guess, the balance between that to keep them both going and striving? Because something we talked on our show about before is you don't have time to play and invest in something else, and you're doing it.
Yeah.
So talk me through that process of being able to have both.
Honestly, I say it's all God, because I'm very spiritual, and I believe in the universe and good energy. And I'm blessed because I have a great support system. You know, I work with people, Sharika, Simone, Siani, Ramon, Nati. These people have been with me since day one. So all I can do while I'm playing is delegate tasks. And, you know, we're friends, but we have business meetings. Everybody has a role.
Okay.
And I'm like the point guard on the basketball court.
Yeah.
With my business, I just tell them where to go, and
I like that. That's
and they do it. So thank you.
Now, where can people find Fan Favorite? What's your website? All that. I know you have a great website.
Yeah.
But for anybody that is watching that is interested in finding out more about Fan Favorite, what it's about, camps, anything that they're looking into.
Fan Favorite, you can find it at my website, www.La'KeishaSutton.com, or you can follow me on social media. Everything is Fan Favorite 11. And I don't know, I'm honored, because a lot of people are like, you could sign with Nike, Under Armour, and I'm like, I could, or I could be the next Nike or Under Armour.
I like it.
Yeah, either way, it'll be fine. I just wanted to start something that was universal. Everybody could relate to it, no matter where you come from, and it's going well.
Nice. Now, for you, as a women's basketball player, and we talk a lot on our show about the difference between men's and sports and female sports, and and you're getting frustrated just at the thought of it.
I'm so frustrated.
So what is it like? I mean, I'm glad you're here. You can advocate for it from another perspective. What is the difference that you have lived and seen day in and day out as a women's basketball player? The treatment and everything like that you get, that you see your male friends that are playing basketball overseas or in the NBA.
They just get to do whatever they want. And I think the main difference is obviously the pay. I'm being realistic. A woman will make maybe $1,000 a month her first year, whereas a guy will make about 6 or 7.
Right.
Maybe 3 or 4, but it's definitely the pay. The gear, everything is just like, I don't know. I have one of my friends, Malachi Richardson.
Yes.
And France Massonet. We have real conversations, and we sit and compare everything. And I don't know if it's the exposure piece or the marketing, but either way, basketball is basketball. Right. So I think it should be more fair than it is now. Yeah. And it takes a very strong person, especially a female, to keep going through all the obstacles and situations that we face with day in and day out.
Yes. And All-Star Sue Bird, who is one of the oldest players in the WNBA right now.
She's a fan favorite.
Playing for 15. Really?
Yeah, no,
She's been playing for 15 years in the WNBA. She was saying that when the NBA started, they were dealing with just racism as an issue. Whereas in women's basketball, you're dealing with racism and sexism. So now you're dealing with, okay, we have a variety of cultures, different races in our league, but we also are women.
Right.
And women are still not seen as being equal as men.
No.
So this is like a fluffy question, but to get the revenue and the supporters and the following that the NBA has, or even male sports overseas, male sports all around the world, what will it take for women to finally be at that level?
I think first and foremost, it would take more women sticking together.
Okay.
We all have our own platform, so whether
Mhm.
that's promoting each other or doing more collaborative things, and just standing as a unit instead of individually. Secondly, I would think we need to develop a new creative campaign to expose all women, not just the top 2 players in the WNBA or
Right.
the top 2 college players, because there's somebody out there that can relate to every single person. So if, again, it's marketing and it's branding, people can't support what they don't know about. So the more exposure, media platforms, we need to just come together and take advantage of those.
Yeah, and I see with women's sports, it becomes a lot about looks. It becomes a lot about, who they're dating or
It's not even
what
talent
things.
anymore.
It's not even
It's not
talent.
even
It's
talent.
all for looks, and that's something that hurts the women's sports, and the fact that it's not about how good they are. It's not about the fact that they can put the ball in the net or that they can grab more rebounds than other people. It's about
Or their
how pretty
character,
yes.
or community
or
service.
the fact that they're a person with a
Yes.
nice personality. It does become more shallow in that people only want to watch women's sports if they're in like the lingerie football league, if they're half naked or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
But for you and dealing with this day in and day out, how have you feel like you've kind of tried to change? Because I feel like with fan favorite even, you're getting a step in the right direction to change the way that people see women's sports.
Yeah, for me, it's just being myself. And even in college, I would see, girls started doing more makeup and I'm like, y'all not even focused on playing the game.
Gosh.
It's more like, how many likes can I get? So what I want to do is, if I go to the beach or I get really dressed up, I might throw one picture out, but I'm not going to flood my social media with, provocative photos or compromise who I am just to get more likes and attention. I want to be respected for who I am and what I offer the world, not what I look like or who I date. So I don't know. You can only change the world by being something different and hope that people can relate to you and want to connect with you and grow with me. So
Right. And there are so many talented female athletes out there that are just overlooked.
so many talents.
And they go under the radar because they're not, the Gonzalez twins that are posting all over or whoever.
They actually reached out to me about 2 years ago, and
Really?
they was like, "Oh, I want to wear fan favorite." I'm like, "How do y'all even know who I am?" But again, that's because as a kid, I never watched college basketball.
Right.
But they're like, "We seen every game. We're huge fans." So it's hard because perception. We're dealing with perception, and a lot of girls, they don't realize girls in magazines, they don't look like the girl in the magazine.
No.
So you have a glam squad, hair, makeup, stylist, and I feel like it makes people, I don't know, sad or like, I'm not as good as her, I'm not as pretty. So
That's true.
So if more people, I'm going to continue to be myself.
Right.
Then they'll have somebody else to connect to too. That's not all like top model-ish.
Right. And that's a good
Every
point.
day.
That's a good point because you see more and more now, even, this is like not even sports related, but even Barbie dolls now, and I got in a conversation with somebody about this recently, even Barbie dolls now have like curvy Barbie dolls, tall, short, thicker ones, the petite ones, like the image of what is pretty and what is, or even handsome for men has to change. There is no specific look. Having a face full of makeup and having, certain poses in your social media pictures doesn't make you, the angles, doesn't make you a prettier or nicer person.
Right.
If at the end of the day, once you get away from behind the camera, you still aren't happy with yourself.
Exactly. That's what I said. I have a love-hate relationship with social media because we need it to do what we do and promote and connect and things like that. But then it's like, I hate it because everybody's just trying to be something that they're not just to get likes and comments.
Yes.
And for me, if you're getting paid for those likes and comments, by all means, do whatever you need to do. But it's weird.
Yes, and have more respect in yourself than to post half-naked pictures all the time and then wonder why people are sliding in your DMs asking you to hang out or whatever the case may be. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's real crazy. Even like the idea behind, if I follow you, you have to follow me back.
Yeah, what if I don't want to follow you?
Exactly. Me, unless you have inspiring content or something that you do that I want to learn how to do or something that's going to teach me or progress me, I'm not following you back.
No.
Unless you're team fan favorite, then of course I'll follow you back.
Understandably so. So, before we wrap it up, you mentioned fan favorite again. For anyone that does not know, that maybe missed the earlier part of it, Keisha has her very own brand, her very own business, Fan Favorite, which appeals to all demographics from all levels to try to encourage them that whatever situation you're in, you still have an opportunity to be better. You can still make it somehow.
Yes.
So, to wrap it up, what is your final mission, your final message that you would want to say to people that are girls, boys, living in an urban area, rural, suburban, whatever, one parent, two parents, no parents?
Yeah.
What is your message to them to keep striving to be better?
My message would just be simply to believe in yourself and to believe in your dreams. It doesn't matter where you come from, how much money you have, who you're dating. All that matters is you and how you think about each situation that you're faced with every single day. So my message is just to, believe in yourself. And it's never too late. Even the people that's working jobs that they hate, pursue your dreams because that can happen if you have the right mentality. And Fan Favorite will help you with that.
Perfect. Nice plug to Fan Favorite. Well, Keisha, thank you for joining us on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
It has been a pleasure getting to sit down and talk with you about all the amazing things that you're doing as you continue to pursue your career. So good luck in Turkey in August. Good luck with Fan Favorite. And for those of you that are watching, again, you can check her out at www.La'KeishaSutton.com. Fan Favorite 11 on Twitter, Facebook. Be sure to follow her to see all of her great content and what's going on with Fan Favorite. And join the cause. Join the movement towards making everybody more aware of what they're doing to be better and change the world. Yes. So that being said, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us here on the Sports Break. I'm Renee Washington, and we'll see you back here Tuesday morning at 9. Have a great weekend.
Call